Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while since the last video, but things have happened. And since you all enjoyed it so much, I'm going to be going over another sketchbook tour. So technically speaking, this isn't really a sketchbook. What happened was after my first sketchbook, after I completed my first sketchbook, I did my 100 days of art challenge. I kept drawing until I ended up causing severe injuries, and I ended up having to stop drawing for a decent period of time. And after that, I started drawing again. I think sometime, I don't remember the date per se, but it was after a couple of months. I wasn't able to do anything with my hands because I injured them doing a bunch of stunts. And when I restarted, I decided to focus on the fundamentals. So I did a decent bit of studies. I looked into anatomy. I did a bunch of things, as you can see. I've been experimenting. So around 5th April, a little before, so around April is when I started. All right. A lot of fundamentals, a lot of proportions, a decent bit of anatomy studies. But the funny thing is I haven't really memorized that, okay? I'll be honest. You can still see I'm focusing on the shapes, the forms. That's all I'm doing. Trying to get through that whole... Looks like I'm really speeding up, huh? Shaky as fuck camera. My apologies. This video could have been better, huh? Could have been a lot better. I hope it stabilizes. Yeah, okay. There's a bunch of things I'm gonna have to blur out because while I was experimenting with learning the forms, I ended up experimenting with the human form as well. A lot of that happened. At this point, I wasn't really keeping track of when I was doing things. I wasn't quite organized. This was still 2020, the COVID diaries. Interesting name. Because that's when I started drawing again, yeah. Once COVID hit, we were hitting the lockdown and all of that. So I was still focusing on forms, trying to figure out how to apply that to the human body. I was doing a lot of studies on the head. I think this is around the time I did the Loomis head workout, the Loomis head study. Half the sketchbook is just me doing squiggles, circles, and the rest of the warm-up. I'm gonna have to cover that up, huh? I just used a bunch of waste paper. I didn't really think that this was gonna go anywhere. I just put in the mileage, a lot of iterations, as you can see. Learning perspective, all of the shenanigans. At this point, I think this is around the time that I started listening to podcasts while I was doing art. I think I was spending about an hour or so every day. I know, like, all of these things took about an hour or so. And it's not the greatest use of time. I wasn't particularly good at it. But this is also, I just realized this is the first time I started sketching with pen. That was interesting. Yeah. A bunch of these things are upside down. Damn. Oh my god. But yeah. A lot of focus on forms. I think I ended up watching this one particular video on how important it is to understand the basic forms. And I just kept going on and on and on and on with that. I took that to heart, I suppose. Gonna have to get one of those arms where I can just mount the camera onto it. Those movable arms for the camera. Yeah, that would be nice. Would help. The entire sketchbook is upside down. My bad. I'll fix that in post. A lot of practice on the forms. A lot of practice on the fundamentals. This is where I literally drew so much. I built my, this is the foundation. It took a year. I did a lot of drawing. It could have been a lot faster if I had some guidance, but I was just doing things myself, watching a bunch of random YouTube videos. You might recognize those characters. Watching a bunch of random YouTube videos and just trying to figure things out. The one on the left is an interesting art piece that I tried drawing because I was inspired. Who's this person I had a crush on at one point, I suppose? That's the truth, yeah. I think around this time, I've started getting a lot better. My proportions are a lot better. My ability to draw faces is getting a lot better, especially when it comes to anime. I kind of had stuff down. The rest of it, not so much, but I was putting in about an hour or so every day. Decent amount of progress. Again, could have been a lot faster, no doubt, no doubt. But I'll take what I got, yeah. I forgot. Shaky camera, I apologize once again. That could have been a lot better. That was Baphomet. I had this occult phase for a bit. A lot of things to blur out, huh? That was an idea for an artwork. Oh, I had this entire idea for a spin-off comic on those two, but I never got around to doing it. Kinda sad. Ha, that was a friend. I remember that. Okay. Yeah, a lot to fix, huh? A lot to edit. Oh god, this entire page is gonna have to disappear. I wasn't able to draw eyes at that point that well, so I just covered it up, I suppose. Hey, I like that. I sneezed. Lot, a decent amount of anatomy studies, I suppose. I was studying art. I was doing a lot of theory studies. I suppose I suppose my progress would have been a lot faster if I just focused on drawing more. But I was trying to figure out what exactly I wanted to draw. So in that way, I guess, like, it was a good thing, I suppose. This is when the Lord Olympus bug bit me. Oh god, a lot too. Yeah. This was the concept for a character. I really liked it. I wanted to put it out, but yeah, the client didn't. Oh god. I had this idea for a logo for my friends, yeah. This is when I did my first ever commission. These are the concepts for the commission. It could have been a lot better, but yeah. First commission almost destroyed my confidence. I thought I'd never do stuff again. Got a lot of support from a friend. Anatomy studies getting better and better. Especially the butt. I was so focused on the butt. Looking back, this was my second commission. That was, yeah, plans for the second commission. This was actually earlier. I don't know what it's doing here. I guess I messed up in the whole ordering things. Gesture, gesture. A lot of empty pages. Getting a lot better. So you can see my art evolve over the course of this entire thing itself. It's not perfect, but there's progress, and that's what we're aiming for. A practice is not supposed to lead you to perfection, it's supposed to lead you to progress. You gotta keep practicing so that you can keep improving. And I've been doing that. It's 2020, right now it's 2023, we're hitting June, and I've come a long way, I won't lie. It's brilliant. This journey's been amazing. And looking back at this, it's so nostalgic to see where I was. Some days I wouldn't even be able to draw, and I just throw together a quick sketch, and that's what you saw there. Man, this camera work is really shaky. I apologize. Shouldn't be doing this. I shouldn't do it like this ever again, yeah. Yep, this. Oh man, that's. You would. I'll put up like the end version of this. That's the design phase, and where it eventually got to. That was nice. This is another design thing that never really went anywhere. It wasn't a very high priority project, to be fair. Oh, this is one of my favorites. This is nice. Tower of God. This is a redesign of one of my early characters. Damn, the camera work is shaky, man. I didn't realize this until now. I apologize. Damn. I ended up redrawing the things that I had done like a year back, and this is the progress I made in a year. I'll try to attach the ones that I drew first, and then alongside that, this is my favorite. This is one of my favorites. This was really cool. The first real art piece that I did. I'm gonna add that, yeah. So that's about it. That was it. Thank you for coming. This was a lot of fun. You can see me fumbling as the thing got over. This was my second sketchbook. The COVID diaries, the COVID files, whatever. Diaries would have been better, but yeah. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you again next time. Bye bye.